Let's begin. Today's November 7th, 2024, and we're solving the Daily Turing Machine Puzzle. Today's puzzle uses the following 6 criteria cards. Criteria card 3, 9, 12, 16, 18, and 19. And the puzzle uses the orange verification cards. The code above is your way to get more information on today's puzzle by searching the code on turingmachine.info. Let's go solve. So in the grid above, we've got our 6 criteria cards. On the top row, we've got criteria card A, criteria card B, and criteria card C. On the bottom row, we've got criteria card D, criteria card E, and finally criteria card F. Criteria card A takes a look at our middle digit, the square digit, and compares it to the number 3. So should the value of square be less than 3? Should it be equal to 3? Or should the value of square be greater than 3? Criteria card B will take a look at our 3-digit solution, and the Turing Machine will let us know how many 3s there are. Are there no 3s? Is there a single 3? Perhaps 2, maybe even all 3 are 3. Criteria card C will take a look at our first and last digits, triangle and circle, and compare them. So should the value of triangle be less than circle? Should they be equal? Or should the value of triangle be greater than circle? Criteria card D, again, we'll take a look at our 3-digit solution, except this time it'll let us know a little bit about the ratio of even to odds. Are there more even than odds, or are there less even than odds? Criteria card E will take a look at our 3 digits, triangle, square, and circle, add them together, and the Turing Machine will let us know if that sum total is an even quantity or an odd quantity. And finally, criteria card F will take a look at our first 2 digits, triangle and square, add them up, and compare that sum to the number 6. So should the sum be less than 6? Should it be equal to 6? Or should the sum be greater than 6? And remember, the objective of today's puzzle is to find that unique 3-digit code that abides by all of the 6 criteria cards we just described. And we're going to start off with an initial proposal of 314. So I think the first thing I'd like to test is criteria card D. Okay, so the Turing Machine approves of my choice in my proposal, and criteria card D is comparing the number of even to odds. So notice that in 314, I do have 2 odds to a single even. So yeah, the Turing Machine confirms that there should be less even than odds. So let's go ahead and type that up in our notes in section D. And we'll say that even is less than odd. The next thing I'd like to test is criteria card E. Okay, so again, the Turing Machine does approve of my choice in my proposal, but this time we're adding the digits. So let's go ahead and add them up. So 3 plus 1 is 4, and 4 plus 4 is 8. And of course, the Turing Machine does approve of that. So let's go ahead and type that up and say that triangle plus square plus circle should be an even quantity. And so what does that reveal in conjunction with what we discovered in testing criteria card D? Well, if we have a majority of odds, that means we have at least 2 of them. So let's go ahead and say we add those 2 odds. Well, when you add 2 odds together, that gives you an even quantity thus far. And if you want the sum total to remain even, you would add an even to that sum. So that means we're looking at a solution that has 2 odds and 1 even. Okay, again, because if you add 2 odds, that's a sum that gives you an even, plus another even, give you a sum total that remains even. So we're looking for 2 odds and 1 even. Now, we don't know if those odds could be paired up. We just don't know at this point. So let's see, what else can we test? And it is interesting, criteria card B, if there is no 3, then we know that either, again, we're going to have either 2 1s or 2 5s, or a combination of 1 and 5 if there are 0 3s. But I think I'm going to test criteria card F. Okay, so the Turing Machine does not approve of my choice for triangle and square. I do have 3 and 1. If I add them up, that gives me a 4, and 4 is less than 6, but the Turing Machine does not approve of that. So that means our only 2 choices are that the sum of the first 2 digits is either equal to 6 or greater than 6. So let's go ahead and type that up in our notes in section F. And again, that's that triangle plus square should either be equal to or be greater than 6. Okay, and I don't think we can cross out anything because, of course, of the equal, you could always add a 1 to a 5, and everything in between can give us a sum that's greater than 6. Well, we're leaving the second round without having crossed out anything. And that concludes this round since we did complete our 3 Turing tests. We're now going into the phase where we'll be discussing how to construct a good second round proposal. So remember, we did not test criteria card A, comparing our middle digit to the number 3. We also did not test to see how many 3s there are. And we did not test the comparison of the first and last digits. So, but remember, we are looking for a solution that has 2 odds and a single even. And, we could potentially have maybe a sum of 6 in triangle and square. But the only way to achieve that is if we pick 2 odds. So like, for example, 1, 5 in some order. And that would mean that circle would have to be even. And of course, the square value would let us know between 1 and 5 potentially. Again, helping us to figure out what triangle might be. And so how would that work if we think about a sum of 6 using 1 and 5? So it could be something like 1, 5, and then if it's smaller, well, we'd have to pick between 2 and 4. I just don't see that. I don't see anything that would help us identify the even in 2 and 4. And so I think the same thing would be true of 5 and 1. Yeah. What would be smaller? Yeah, actually, they'd be ambiguous solutions. You wouldn't be able to figure that out. So, and the only other case where you could have a sum of 6 is if you have 2 3s. But at that, I could see maybe square being 3 and you picking another 3. And I guess, maybe you could say that it's less than, and that would help you pick either the 2 or the 4. If square is less than circle, well, that would point to 4. If it's greater than, then it would point to 2. That's possible. Okay. Well, this is interesting. Could it be that simple? What if it were a sum that's greater? Well, if it's greater, we know we wouldn't have any ones. What if we had, well, you would have to have at least 1 3, I suppose. Well, no, I guess you could have 2 5s, but that again, how would you decide how to pick 2 and 4? So you have a 3 and a 5. Fantastic. Yeah, maybe something like that. Maybe it's a sum of 3 and 5 to give us 8. Well, let's see. How would you know whether... Yeah, maybe square is 3. Well, yeah, maybe something like that. But then how would you choose between 4 and 5? Because 3 plus 4 or 5 would give us a sum that's greater. Perhaps maybe it's equal. But if that's the case, then you'd have 2 3s, and yeah, I don't know. How can we restrict some of these digits? We do have a little bit of everything: square, triangle, circle. So it's not like one of them is being forced per se. Let's see. Maybe square could force our value to be less than, making it maybe a 2, and then forcing us to add a 5, and then now there are no duplicates, nothing that mentions duplicates, so maybe there is a 3 and it forces circle to be 3. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's do 5 2 3, and so yeah, the sum is going to be greater than 6, and there is a 3. Well, let's see. Well, 5 2. Well, yeah, so we know we have to have an odd, and this criteria card would eliminate, would be less than, then you'd have to pick between 1 and 3. Yeah, so let's do, 5 2 3. Let's see where that takes us. Okay, so, I guess I really didn't think about it, but yeah, we're going to have to retest F. Would that be the best choice? Let's see. Well, could we deduce one of those? Maybe we could end up deducing criteria card C. So yeah, let's go ahead and test criteria card F. Okay, yeah, so the sum is greater than 6. So let's go ahead and cross out the equals. Oops, sorry. Just the equals and the or. Okay, now because the sum is greater than 6, we know that neither triangle nor square can be 1. Because if you add 1, even to the largest of 5s, that would give you a sum that's only 6. We need it to be greater. And now I'm anticipating that maybe my instinct for square to be less than 3. So let's see, maybe we can deduce that. Well, let's go ahead and test A. No. Oh, wow. Okay. So since I did choose 2, 2 is less than 3. That is not correct. So square is either equal to 3 or greater than 3. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, let's see where that leads us. So again, square is either equal to or greater than 3. Okay, so that means that, yeah, square cannot be a 2, because that, of course, is less than, but we're looking for something that's equal to. So let's see. Yeah, oh wow, this really makes it interesting. There's, other than 2, 3, and 3, 3, everything else is, would work. Well, maybe with the exception of 2, 4 as well. So yeah, there are quite a bit of exceptions, but still quite a bit of possible solutions. Okay, well, this makes it interesting, because now, do I test criteria card B, the number of 3s, or the ordering? I am going to, let's see, which one could be most beneficial? I still have a lot of 3s available. I'm going to compare our first and last digit and see what happens. So again, we are looking for 2 odds and an even. And the sum of the first 2 has to be greater than 6. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and test criteria card C. Okay, so if I look at my first and last digits, my triangle 5 is bigger than my circle 3, but that is not the case. Okay, so that means that triangle is either equal to circle or triangle is less. Wow, there are a lot of these, cases where there are 3 possibilities. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to go probably to a third round. So let's go ahead and type this up. And we're saying that in C, that either triangle is equal to or should be, if I want to do the correct order, I think I should say less than. Yeah, let's go ahead and say less than or equal to circle. Wow, I'm not sure that's really going to help us cross out much. Okay, so we want to avoid where triangle is larger. Well, but because of the equal, I don't think you can cross out much. Because, again, 5 can equal 5. Can we cross out maybe circle 1? Because if circle is 1, obviously it's not going to be equal. Yeah, I think you can cross out at least the 1. Because if circle's 1, can't equal to triangle because it's not 1. And of course 1 is smaller than everything else. Yeah, but from there on out, it's still wide open. Oh my goodness, wow. Okay, well that does it for this round. We did complete our 3 Turing tests, and we're still not quite there yet. Okay, well, let's think about what we can do for round 3. Again, we have 2 odds and a single even. Wow. Let's see. If we have square as 3, that would force either triangle or a triangle to be either 4 or 5. Okay, so we have that choice. And then we'd have to then again well, what about the number of threes? Oh my goodness. Triangle and circle. Well, wow. What am I missing anything here, or is it really this complex? And I would think that square being greater than 3, there's just too many possibilities with 4 and 5. So that's why I'm kind of leaning towards square being 3, and at least making us choose between 4 and 5. But then again, we either have, and between triangle being less or equal to circle, I would almost say I would rather choose less than. Triangle is smaller. So if that were the case, that would be something like maybe 4, 3, 5. Because you couldn't pick 5. Yeah, so let's do 4, 3, 5. Hoo-wee. This is really interesting. 4, 3, 5. And let's just review very quickly. Is our middle digit equal to or greater than 3? Yeah, it's equal. That's fine. Would C still qualify, the first and last? Yeah, 4 is technically smaller than 5. Yeah, that's good. You do have 2 odds. Yeah, the sum is even, and the sum of the first two is greater than 6. Yeah. Okay, but how many tests will I have to do? Okay. I think I'd be... Yeah, let's go ahead and test A again. Yeah, let's test A. Wow. No! Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm totally being surprised here. So that means square is not equal to, it must be greater than. Oh, wow. Okay. So we're dealing with 4 and 5, and I still can't cross out anything in triangle because 2 can be added to 5. Wow. Okay. Well, now let's test, I guess. Yeah, I might as well go all the way here. Let's test C. My goodness. No. Again, no. So here I did choose triangle smaller. So in fact, triangle and circle are equal. At least we now know those are our odds. Okay. So that means that square is even. So now we've established that that's a 4. Okay. And because the sum has to be greater than 6, it can't be a 2. And if that's not a 2, then circle can't be 2. We are dealing with 2 odds, remember, in triangle and circle. So it looks like either, 3, 4, 3 or 5, 4, 3, or sorry, 5, 4, 5. So either there are 0 threes or 2 threes. Is there any way to deduce which one it may be? Let's see. 2 threes or no threes. Is there a way to, deduce that, contradict it in any way? And I don't see anything in the cards. And unfortunately, oh wow, unfortunately my proposal would tell us nothing because I only have a single 3. It'll definitely fail. Wow. I can't even test criteria card B. It will fail because I have neither of those cases, 0 or 2. Wow, I'm going to have to go to a 4th round. That may be unprecedented. Okay, yeah, and I'm going to lose an opportunity to finish it out in 3 rounds. Well, let's see. So 3-4-3 or 5-4-5 is what's in store. Okay. 2 3s. Well, let's see. Okay, obviously we can't have 3 3s because then we would know there are more odds than evens. So I think maybe that's how we can deduce. There can't be 2 3s because if I had 2 3s, we would know there would be less even than odds. Is that sound? If you had 2 3s, you know you'd have less even than odds. Okay, I'm going to go kind of bold here, and I'm going to say because of that, there must be no 3s. So I'm going to deduce here. I'm going to write because, sort of, well, I don't know if it's just outright deduction or gameplay. Well, yeah, I'm just going to type in, I'm going to deduce the solution has no 3-digit. Because again, if I did have 2 of them, I'd know I'd have more odds than evens. So it can't have 2 3s. Now again, that doesn't mean you can't have 2 odds. Of course, yeah, you're just excluding the 3s. You could have had 1s or 5s, depending on how the criteria cards played out. So, okay, so I'm going to say the solution is 5-4-5. And so I'm crossing out both the 3s and the 4s in triangle and circle. So 5-4-5. So let's type that up. Very interesting puzzle, that is for sure. Okay, so 5-4-5. There is a little bit of a lag time, but yeah, let's go ahead and verify. So 5-4-5. Wow, fantastic. Well, how did we do versus a Turing machine? Well, we did go pretty deep into the 3rd round. So we did, obviously we have 6 criteria cards, but we also did 8 tests. And so we know in the last 2 rounds, we did A and C twice and all wrong. And we did do F twice, and we were able to deduce B outright. Unexpected. First round we did D, E, F, the first 2 being correct, and then F in the second round was correct. So hopefully I've committed that to memory. So D, E, F. So D and E were correct. F was incorrect. Second round, we did A, C, and I think I already forgot, was it C? Yeah, so it was B that we deduced. And then F was correct. And in the third round, we only did A and F, or sorry, A and C again, both being incorrect. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. I'm just ecstatic that we tied with 8 questions versus the Turing machine. It gave us the win. Wow. Well, this really pushed me to the limit. Yeah, I guess in some sense, A, C, and F, each having 3 distinct possibilities, I guess at worst, you have to test each of those twice. So we did do, yeah, and that's what it worked out to. We tested A twice, we tested C twice, and we tested F twice. Totally to the limit. And that was the only way we could definitively pinpoint what each one should be. Wow. Okay. Well, how did you do? Were you able to do it in less? I'd be impressed, and I'd love to hear how you did it. What criteria cards did you choose, in what order? And of course, it depends on what your initial proposal was and what you chose in subsequent rounds. Add those thoughts to the comments. If you liked the video, please do give it a thumbs up so that more people can find this channel. And of course, don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. Well, until next time, have a great one.